Welcome back to the channel. We are your Colorado real estate family, and we have talked to you guys about summer. We've talked about moving here in the fall. Well, today we're going to be talking to you a little bit about what it means to move here in the winter with our snowier months.
All right, let's go.
If you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and if you're interested in moving to Colorado, Denver, or any of the surrounding cities, we're the couple that you need to know. So do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button down below. We put out 2 videos a week.
Along those lines, if you are looking at moving into Colorado, looking to purchase some real estate, we'd love to help you out. We're helping out so many just like yourself who's watching this video right now. So we're going to go and throw that phone number below right there. Give us a call. We answer those calls, those texts all the time. Doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Sunday. We are there to answer your calls.
Okay, so if you are new to our channel, you don't know this about me yet, but I absolutely love fall.
Yeah.
People make fun of me about it. I'm those typical like pumpkin spice, everything pumpkin. Oh, I love fall.
PSL,
the boots,
PSL.
all the things. Like, I know it about myself, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm excited about it. We're in the middle of fall right now. All of the trees are changing. When we go with the kids to the park right now, like the wind will blow and all the beautiful leaves will start flying around. And like, I am just in heaven right now.
And I've got a love-hate relationship with fall because like at the beginning, I'm like, all right, cool, it's cooling down. It's not as hot as it was in summertime. But guess what fall leads into? Wintertime.
Winter.
And that's what we're going to be discussing right now. And winter is my least favorite season in Colorado. So for me, perfectly, my ideal setting would be like 2 weeks of like hardcore snow and badass weather for the wintertime. And the rest of it like spring or fall, you know, just cool. I could do some 50s here and there, whatever, but that's my ideal thing. But yeah, like I said, winter is my kind of my least favorite when we talk about the seasons in Colorado. So what we're looking at, so if you're looking at moving here in the wintertime, the temperatures you're looking at right in the high 40s. So like December on average it's like 47 degrees. Going to January, it's like 49 degrees. February, similar, 49 degrees. And those are our highs. So you got to keep in mind that like at nighttime, it's going to begin a lot cooler than that. You're going to get some freezes. And so it does get a little bit cooler here. So if you're planning on moving into Colorado, it might be a little cold for you to move that furniture.
However, you know, it is a little different than that humid coolness that a lot of people are used to with humidity. You know, with humidity, you feel the heat a lot more. With humidity, you also feel the cold a lot more. So
we get a lot of that, more that like fluffy snow.
Yeah,
right?
fluffy, dry, cold, and sometimes, you know, snow with the sun. So we've got like snow on the ground and warm like sunshine. So don't let the snow scare you away necessarily, but you have to be prepared. So that kind of gets us into the second thing, which is,
will you be moving in the snow?
Yeah, will you be moving in the snow? So okay, talk a little bit about how much it actually snows.
Okay, so on average, I work this look on like weather.com or something. I'm not some meteorologist, so I don't know it off the top of my head. Here's the difference you have to take in consideration. The west side of Denver is going to get a lot more snow than your east side of Denver. So if we're talking about your western suburbia portions of Denver, on average, it gets about 65 inches per season. Whereas like if we're closer out to DIA, we're talking like Green Valley Ranch and all those areas out there, you're looking at like 47 inches per season. So that's quite a big difference in regards to how much snow you get. Closer you are to the mountains, obviously you get a little bit more snow. So something to kind of keep in mind. If I'm going to be moving on the west side, you might get a little bit more snow.
Right. So if you're in the mountains, you'll obviously be dealing with the hills and the snow and what goes into that as far as your commute and actually physically moving here. You know, when you're right in kind of the west side, you know, out of the foothills, it's still pretty flat. So don't think that it's going to be like crazy hills that you're trying to overcome. Like, you know, we do still see some flat areas in Arvada, in Golden, not all of them, but there's still, it's not crazy because a lot of them think they're going to come in and it's just going to be like mountainous everywhere. Okay, it's not really like that. But some things that we were trying to consider about would be helpful if you actually were moving here, maybe in the snowstorm, okay, or right after a big snow. So,
well, hold on, I'm going to cut you off for a second because we recently just helped out some clients and they asked us something. So we use this terminology or we say things not knowing that you guys don't know about this. What are the foothills in Colorado?
Oh, that's right.
So, and the best way to put it is like you have your big mountains and your foothills. Foothills don't really have trees, right? They're just like big, huge hills of grass and all your wild grasses and all that. And so that's kind of what we consider our foothills, where the mountains are the big ones where you start seeing all the pine trees and everything growing on them.
Yeah, so you have your mountain houses still.
It's not scientific by any means. I'm sure there's some scientific term that I don't know about. But that's what we
kind of
consider.
rule of thumb for
Yeah,
sure. You
yep.
still have houses in the mountains, you still have houses in the foothills,
Yep.
and you still have houses right below that are right next to the mountains.
Yep.
So, it's not that there's not, you can buy in all different areas. It just
Yep.
depends on how strenuous of weather you want to see with that and how active and stuff you are. So,
Yep.
okay, some tips and trips that we were...
Tips and tricks.
Tips and
tricks.
How about... All right, here are some tips and tricks that we were kind of considering about what would we want to do if we were moving here either in a snowstorm or right after. So number one would be if you're having movers actually be there.
Yep.
We want to make sure that you have prepared accordingly to any, stalling across, like if you are hitting some storms, if you want to stop, if it gets too bad, things
Might be
like
some
that.
delays.
Some delays. If you're having furniture shipped here, obviously, there could be some delays with that as well. Not a lot. We're pretty prepared for that. But if it's a really bad snowstorm, maybe your couches get delayed or something. The other thing too is when you're finally arriving on your property, there's two things that we really think is helpful. One of them is checking your utilities, your thermostat, maybe having some of those things kind of prepared for the weather ahead of time. This is a little off track, but we went to our Florida property to convert it to an Airbnb recently, and the utilities were all messed up. Had it been, like a storm or something like we may have had here, that would have been a big deal, okay? But since it's all nice and warm, we opened up everything and we got everything running and it was fine. But if you're coming into a snowstorm, you might want to get that heat going. You don't want to be having to move. You're already cold outside. You don't want any frozen
pipes inside the house, so you need to make sure that it's good to go. I highly recommend, this is also a little off topic, but having a smart thermostat. That way you could always kind of check it out and stuff. So if you are visiting or if you're out of town or you're away from that house, you could adjust your thermostat accordingly.
Yeah, if you're here and you're here for closing and maybe you're moving later or, whatever it may be, it is something to really look into. Is that, being
They're
able
cheap.
to
I think I pick them up for like $70 a pop.
Yeah,
just the Honeywell ones, like super cheap, easy to set up. So as long as you have Wi-Fi on the property, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, so setting up that Wi-Fi, setting up those utilities are really important. You want to be comfortable when you're moving things. The other thing is either hiring somebody or physically going out there and doing the snow removal for your driveway and any of the walkways, because whether you're paying a mover or not, obviously big liability if the mover's slipping on your driveway. But also if you're moving furniture, you don't want to fall and slip on ice or anything like that. So kind of prepare your landscape before you're moving.
Snow shovel, you need some of the salt that you lay down,
Yes.
So yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah, if you don't have a shovel, you've never experienced snow, you might well just buy a shovel and bring it with you.
And if you don't plan on being here, hire someone. It is well worth it, because the last thing you want, just like she had mentioned, is a mover slipping on the steps, or even you yourself. You come out, because we do get that where sometimes in the middle of the day it gets up to 50, the sun's beating down the snow, melts it down, that turns into ice, and then your stairs get a little icy. So it is well worth it if you aren't able to be here while those movers are putting the furniture into your house.
So another thing is, this is your brand new house, right? If you are hiring movers and you're not really familiar with snow, it's really important to maybe lay down some things to protect your carpets or whatever that may be.
If you have hardwood flooring, you definitely want to protect that.
Yeah, because they're going to be coming in with their boots. They're not going to take off their shoes every time when they have a couch in their hand. Okay, so be prepared. The last thing you want is to come in and be like, oh my gosh, why is it wet throughout my whole house? Or why is it muddy? Depending on what you're landscaping, if there's unfinished, front yards or backyards or side yards or whatever it may be that they're coming in through. So protecting, laying things down, maybe designate an area that they will be dropping things off if the snow is going to be bad enough, and then just lay down. We do plastic, if you just lay down plastic.
Yep. Or they have those ram boards. I think they're called ram boards or something. So it's used for construction.
Just to protect this is your brand new house, and so you just don't think about the wetness and people coming in and out and not being able to take off their shoes when moving furniture. Okay, so what else? What other little tips and tricks can we tell them about moving in the snow?
Yeah, and we're actually pretty good about doing this. Whenever you're purchasing a house, like I said, most of the time you guys are out of state watching this video, and so you're not eyes on the property. We don't really know what's happening there. Making sure those sprinkler lines are blown up, because the last thing you want is to turn those sprinkler systems on in the springtime, and because they weren't turned off, you have to replace the entire system. So wintertime, snow, cold, blow out the sprinklers.
So just because I have to say this, we don't just help people out of state. We help a lot of you who are watching us from in-state, so thank you so much. I actually just ran into someone. I was running with a friend of mine yesterday, and thank you for saying hi to me. I'm sorry that I was sweaty and thrown off, but somebody had stopped on the trail. They said, thank you so much, or they said, hey, like, we love watching your videos. Thanks so much for watching. We help a lot of locals as well, you know, on the real estate side. They know here, but they learn to love and trust us, and so we do help a lot of you here. So thank you for saying hi to me. It does mean a lot, and it does show that you're watching, and we appreciate you. So, okay, so the other thing too is, don't worry, you don't have to know all of these things. When you work with us, I have a handout for all the different seasons and things to consider, because maybe you don't have 4 seasons like we do. So it seems a little overwhelming, but we do have handouts, so don't worry about all that. We'll guide you through that. You know, we'll make sure that you have everything that you need, because it is a little different for each season, and there's different things you have to pay attention to.
Every state's different. I mean, we've learned, because like I said, we've purchased properties in Florida, Wisconsin, or I keep wanting to say Wisconsin, Missouri. And so it's like there's stuff that we're like, oh, we didn't know about that, or that we were supposed to do anything with that. So it's it's
well,
crazy.
And you guys have taught us a lot about what we just being locals, like what we know that we don't always spell out. And so it really helps us when you're like, hey, what about this? Like, don't ever feel ashamed to ask us a question. Like, we love the questions, and if we don't know the answer, we'll find out for you. But there's some things we wouldn't think about that you guys need to know. And so we really try to build some materials around that. So, okay, let's get into the next thing.
Yeah, so the next thing we're going to talk about is, what is the real estate going to look like this winter in Denver? And talking about this, guys, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to use a notepad. I know I do real estate, and that's what I do, but I can't remember every single number that's out there, right? So, I mean, here's the biggest thing that we're going to be looking at is, this winter, expect there to be less listings than there's been this last year or even back in 2020. And that's the trend that we've been seeing even from 2020, 2021 to 2022. The listings have been going down a little bit. And so now that we have interest rates, we have, you know, the economy, the inflation doing what it's doing right now, a lot less listings are going to be hitting. But also at the same time, we've been noticing when we're helping out people just like yourself who are moving into Colorado, guess what? We're having a blast getting into a house. I know those interest rates suck right now, but it's super easy. We're not competing with buyers the same way we were, say, back in March.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
All right, cool. So I'm just going to kind of throw these numbers before you. So December, since we're not December 2022 yet, right now we're currently in October, right? Yeah, my months are just flying by. So, December 2021, we had 306 listings, where in 2020 we had 394. So, right there, right indication it's going to go down. And I am predicting, the way that we're seeing the market right now, that we're going to see a lot less listings this December. Maybe we'll update you guys, give you a Denver market video to kind of recap on that. So if we look at January, so we're talking about the winter months, obviously, December, January, February. January, you're looking at, in 2022, there's 475 listings. In 2021, there's 552. Again, down year over year. Looking at February 2022, you're looking at 569 listings. In 2021, there were 620. So we have seen that trend, that less listings are hitting the market. And like I said, with the market softening the way it is, I am projecting that in December, I don't have a crystal ball, I can't tell you what's going to happen. We're going to see a lot less listings this December. So might be a great time to buy. At the same time, those interest rates might blow up a little bit more. So should you get in before winter time? I don't know. We'll just see.
A lot of you too have asked us if it's quiet during winter time in real estate. And we have to tell you that it's not like you would think. So, you know, we think that, or a lot of people think that because we have more weather during the winter time that people aren't moving here. It's a quiet time in real estate. When actually it's not really like the truth. So, you know,
and there was a couple years, I'm trying to think, I can't remember everything, but I think back in like 2016 or 2017, December was the number 2 month for sales. It was the number 2 month for sales for the entire year. And that's because people were like, I'm sick of these buying wars. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to wait until December when everything's cooled down. And so everyone got the same idea. And then everyone flooded the market in December. And so December was like a great time. I think it was like back in 2016, 2017, right around there.
Well, not only that, but a lot of people will change how they do things based around the holidays and stuff. So some people will come in November, December and want to get in settled into their new home before the holidays hit and all of that. And then, you know, January and February are actually like 2 of our colder months. And so December, you know, we do still, sometimes, guys, we don't have snow sometimes for Christmas. Yeah. Which, like, I'm so sad. It seemed like
we always had snow during Christmas when we were kids. We were growing up.
It during, And now we're like, please snow for Christmas. Like, it's so magical. And, like, don't let your kids watch this, but it's really hard making an elf have snow footprints when there's no snow on the ground. And I'm like, great, like, do you think they'll catch on? Like, they didn't catch on this last year, but they were gonna get old enough, they're like, Mom, there's no snow on the ground, why did the elf track snow in the house? Okay, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, can we please have some snow? Like, I do a lot of fun things around Christmas, and it's really messing with my jam, okay? All right,
cool. So let's talk about the median sales price. So numbers that we currently have, even though we're in October, the September numbers haven't come out, so we're talking back to August. The median sales price in Denver, and this is single family homes, was $537. Actually, no, this is put together. My mistake. So this is put together. So you're talking about your multifamily and your single family put together. Median sales price of $537. Now, guess what? That is down almost 12%. 3 months
That's
prior.
Crazy.
And so that's just kind of showing where our market's going right now. You can, the house, the house is selling for a little bit less. That's why I do median sales prices, not the median home value, to see what you guys can get into a house for.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. A lot of people are going through this battling of, the interest rates are up right now. You can always refinance a house, okay? Yep. And we don't know what the rates are going to do. But getting into a house for under listing or at asking price or being able to negotiate certain things that we can't in the springtime, that might be worth it to you guys. So definitely start having those conversations. We love, more than anything, your pre-planning. So a lot of you will reach out and say, hey, I'm moving next year. Like, I said, great, let's go ahead and get you on a search. Let's go play around with different areas, get to know like the different housing, the different prices, and like, it's not too early. Some of you guys have asked like, hey, is it too early to talk to you guys? No, never. We love the planning. So feel free to reach out anytime. Like, we can set you up with a search. You can play around and just kind of figure out what that story means for you.
All right, cool. So the last one we're going to talk about is how can we prepare you as an individual to be ready for Denver's winter?
Okay, so you got to have some jackets, guys, okay?
Well,
and
I think past that too, layer up. We've talked about this. Layer up. Don't just come out here just like a freaking
Eskimo.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
It's not. You need to layer up because there are many times in the wintertime where it gets up to 50. I mean, sometimes we might even seen like right approaching 60.
Yes.
So last thing you want is be dressed up like an Eskimo and it's 50 degrees out and you're sweating your butt off.
Yes, you will see lots of layers. I'm talking, you'll have an undercoat, then you'll have like your big coat, your winter coat that's like all squishy, like it's like the swishy ones. Then you'll have like your scarf, because come on, it's like a fashion statement. And then you'll have your hat. They have the ponytail hats now. Ponytail hats are my jam. I like the layers. So ponytail hats, like you'll be wearing that in the morning. You get into work, you're walking in with your boots, you're changing into your cute like shoes for work. I'm talking about
she's like
my
dressing
ladies.
This whole
My ladies are out there. They're like, I get you, I see you. Okay, but you're gonna be shedding that all off, and then maybe if the snow hits later in the afternoon, you might be putting it all back on. So we talk about layering a lot, and it's real. They said if you don't like Colorado weather, stick around for a couple days and it will change, and that's true. That's
so
true.
So
okay,
true.
what other things?
All right, so another thing we've talked about this, God, probably in like 20 of our videos, chapstick. Lotion, guys, you got to do it because like even us coming from Florida to here, we know it's I gotta break out the lotion, chapstick. My lips are probably chapped right now. I just
put mine on beforehand.
She came prepared.
I did, because you always tell me my lips are chapped.
We're trying to prepare you guys, and here I come in here. I'm not prepared.
Well, and your hands are looking all.
Yeah, I know, the little. Don't look.
I don't think they can see down that far. Okay.
Another thing that we really you need to consider is the altitude, guys.
Yes.
Because if you're coming from sea level,
this is real.
We have had a few of you who've gotten that altitude sickness. Usually it doesn't last longer than 48 hours, but something to kind of think about. If you're planning on like flying or driving in here and like moving all your crap in the day after, you might want to reconsider that, because if you get that altitude sickness, it's going to change stuff quite a bit.
Also, too, if you're moving into kind of some of those cities closer to the mountains, maybe you take a minute to go enjoy those beautiful mountains and hiking and let your body get used to it, because the altitude is a little lower obviously in some of our suburbia areas, and so maybe just taking a couple days to get used to it before going and taking that beautiful hike. I know you're excited to get in our mountains, but that's one thing to kind of help you acclimate as well.
All right, cool, guys. I mean, I think is that pretty much it?
If you want to know about weather, we are weather pros when it comes to moving, so please just reach out if you have any questions. There is not a question that is too silly to answer, especially if you've never seen snow before. So if you're coming from places that don't ever snow, like, reach out to us. Like, we will look into anything that you need.
We just had a client, didn't we, that I don't think they've ever seen snow. It's actually pretty cool because you have to describe it.
It is cool.
They're like, what does snow look like? And I'm like, Yeah, I never thought, because I mean, we grew up with it and we're like, I didn't realize that people have never.
Well, and then like you get all excited because you're like, oh my God, they've never seen snow before. So then you're like, well, there's fluffy snow and there's wet snow. And they're like, wait, what? There's different snow? You're like, oh yeah. There's different snow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, clearly we're nerdy about all of that.
Yep.
If there's one thing that we love about Colorado, which has kept us here all these years, is the 4 seasons. And so we love going through the different seasons and the different considerations for you guys.
All right, guys. We're going to throw that phone number below one more time, right there. So if you are looking at purchasing real estate in Colorado, give us a ring. Till next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
It's because I wasn't ready.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. And we are sitting in fall. We're actually in the most beautiful... Nope, we're not in a park anymore. Let me start over.
Yep.
If you are new to our channel... Whoopsies. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, ready?
Yep. We would love to help you guys out. We've helped.
Just start it over right there.
Tips and
okay.
tricks. Tips and tricks. And then
Okay.
All right.
All right, shut up. Fuck. Okay.
And then it's just like this constant thing, and then your ice gets little stepsies.
Stepsy.
Step. What was I saying?
Then your stairs get a little icy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what else? What are other tips if you're... why are you looking down?